zaps the IP address.
And so we'll have it fixed. We just didn't have time to get the IP addresses for everything reconnected because it all changed. But we're up and running now, so.
I thought we were the only ones that had those sorts of problems.
Come on. Work with me.
That's got a YouTube notification that the town of Shoshoni is live.
We are good.
No video, but
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And just for the record, all the screen shares will be available online. So that's not affected by that.
roll call. Let the record show that everyone here is present, and we do have a quorum. I've been notified we want to make it a amendment to the agenda.
Yeah, I move we approve the agenda with the following amendments. The first is to add a liquor permit for the rec department for their paint and alcohol night. The second is to move item number 10 on the agenda, appearances by citizens for Bo Weaver appreciation presentation immediately after approval of the agenda.
Okay. Move it up in position number 6.
Correct.
Can I have a second on that motion? Then moved by Councilman Zent to approve the agenda with the following additions. One being liquor license,
Permit.
liquor permit for this senior center,
Rec department.
rec department. And the second one to move item number 10, appearances by citizen publication, the Bo Weaver appreciation presentation, move that up to number 6. From 10 to 6. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion passed, all in the affirmative. Mr. Weaver.
I will say, when we get into the new town hall, all this will be integrated, so this will be a lot easier.
Some parts today and the guy goes, that's a you need glasses. I know that work.
Yeah, we don't have Zoom, but what I have here is a presentation from the town of Shoshoni and recognizes George Bo Weaver. It reads, we would like to acknowledge your commitment to the veteran of the town of Shoshoni and helping to ensure a bright and prosperous future for our citizens. Your guidance and insight have enabled Shoshoni to move forward while maintaining our unique identity as a location with a storied history. Your dedication and commitment to the citizens of Shoshoni while putting Shoshoni first have been exemplified through your leadership and your modernization of Shoshoni Police Department and Public Works, as well as the future of the creation of the Shoshoni Community Plaza and the Shoshoni Medical Clinic. Your character and accomplishment reflect greatly upon you, the town of Shoshoni, and serves as a reminder of Shoshone's potential. This is from January 2019 through December 2022, your 4 years that you served on the council as Mayor Pro Tem. We also have a companion certificate that we're putting out with the town of Shoshone recognizes Bo Weaver, Mayor Pro Tem, major projects and accomplishments 2019 through 2022. Try to touch on a few of the major projects. Phase 1 water study. That was the first thing, one of the first things we did. We sat down right in this room and met with the Wyoming Business Council regional rep and talked about our water study, and that got things moving on, and we're seeing the fruition of that now finally as we're going through. But that started right here, and Bo and I met with a Saturday and met Marcio right here, sat right down there and discussed what we wanted to do in Shoshone, and we won Marcio over with our enthusiasm and our plan of moving forward. Phase 2 water study, that was continuation of what we started there. Nearly 2 million in grants addressing the water study. I mean, it's create a new employee handbook, create a guidebook for the town of Shoshone, master plan for the town of Shoshone. This is all helping the town move forward. It just does. Saving historical Jimmy Thompson building, purchase the old school admin building, soon to be our new town hall, I'd like to add. Instrumental in applying and receiving $1.68 million grant for the West Side sewer line project, purchasing 113 acres for future growth. Plat the 40 acres onto our newest subdivision. The COVID-19 plan, Safe Routes to School project was part of modernization of the police department and the public works department and the administration department. Higher standard for employees, medical clinic in Shoshone was a big thing. Working with Wyoming Mushrooms to help them and their expansion for economic development. Strong advocate for economic development and housing in Shoshone. Communicating a shared vision with the citizens of Shoshone. That was big, the communication to the citizens, getting out what we're trying to do as a council. As always, putting Shoshone first. I think the big picture, we agreed on almost everything. We may have a disagreement a time or two on the route we got there. But that's always a good thing. Discussion and decision, that's how we get things done right. So I would like to give these to you. And really appreciate everything. We've worked together as a team. So the whole governing body, with many councilmen, we were all together. I mean, it was try to do what's best for Shoshone. We couldn't list everything, run out of paper. But you worked really hard in making all this happen, Bill, and I'm really honored to have you serve this. And I mean, it's and it's not everybody agrees with everything, but we all ended up working towards a goal. And we thought there a lot of what we've done. You and I were driving around before we just talking about running before we ran on the property out west. The acreage and the horse property was your idea. That's why I call it Weaver's Acres. But that was your idea, the 40 acres. I want to get housing for teachers and town employees and stuff like that, attainable housing. And we said, what we need to do out here, that needs to be acres and 2 acres for horse property for people who live in the city limits and still have horses, 4-H animals, and still have city amenities. And that's, that was your vision out there. I mean, it's just we worked hard, we had a vision and moved forward on it. But it, you know, the teamwork with not only us, with everybody else that had, and staff. I mean, town staff, it's been a citizen of the town, it's been a team effort, but I just wanted to show your, appreciation for what you've done and acknowledge it. I didn't expect it. I know you did. Congratulations, and you're still reach out to us. He's not on the council anymore, but we still kick things around on which way. Sounding, back and forth, good ideas, not good ideas. I mean, there's a lot of that goes on. So thanks a lot. Yes.
Yeah. I didn't mean to cut in there. I just wanted to mess out. Thanks.
Don't break my technology.
Thank you. Have a good night. Better life after this.
Thanks again.
I still know where you live.
Any other communications from citizens? None being a consent agenda. Kind of a motion to approve the minutes of March 14th, 2023, and the bills from March 15th, 2023 to March 28th, 2023. Been moved by Councilman Demick. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman, excuse me, Stetler. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion passed, all in the affirmative. Liquor license, Fast Lane and the Lucky Five.
I received application and payment of fee for both the Lucky Five and the Fast Lane, and both are found in compliance with the state of Wyoming Liquor Division.
So move we approve the both licenses.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Been moved by Councilman Stetler, second by Councilman Zant, that we approve both licenses for the Fast Lane and the Lucky Five. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All the same. Motion passed, all in the affirmative. I see no resolutions. We have a business permit for Cass Bar Systems Incorporated. That's the company that's performing they're the general contractor on making the old admin building, turning it into a new town hall. Repurposing the building. I believe they paid their fee. They're a contracting company in good standing, or they wouldn't be doing our job.
Move we approve the business license.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Moved by Councilman Stetler, second by Councilman Zent, that we approve the business license of Cass Bar Systems, Inc. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Both same. Motion passed, all in the affirmative. We have a special permit for champagne, wine, malt, beverage coolers, Shoshoni's Rec District 24. Date of the event is April 14th, of 23, 6:30 PM to 8:30 PM. Estimated number of person attending is 18. As for number of adults who will be consuming is 17. Let's have a designated driver to drive the bus. Malt and wine, cooler beverages, Shoshoni Rec Building will be where they're having it at. Kind of a motion to approve.
So move.
Moved by Councilman Zink. Can I have a second? Second by Councilman Demick. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion passed, all in the affirmative. We received multiple SOQs, I believe, for the well houses. I know we have some digital up. Inberg Miller passed on to everybody a hard copy. You have a list of everybody that applied for just the well houses, not the SCADA system. That's the SCADA.
Yeah, just scores.
Yeah, just scores.
Well, the well house, I mean, well, this is Inberg Miller's for well house also.
I didn't have that one.
I don't know.
Okay.
We didn't, these are the only two we've received.
I didn't know we had that one.
Okay,
That one was not. on the stamp, but- Yep, persons. Okay.
My copy.
that's mine.
Okay.
I put a
Did you
copy,
get
I had a
one?
copy for you and Chris here. I don't know
Oh,
what happened to it. I had 6 copies.
through there.
I have one, there's one right there.
Oh, there's the other one.
But that would have been handy.
Okay, Tammy's not here. Yeah, Tammy should have had one. Oh,
Yeah.
excuse me, I didn't notice Tammy wasn't here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had one here. And else it ended up on your desk.
It's around here somewhere.
I haven't seen it.
It's just on the houses.
This is
an extra copy. It's not as pretty as those, but
That works. Thank you.
if we're looking, we're Miller. Good. If you got any questions from Inberg Miller as a representative here.
This is just on the well house, not the SCADA.
This is the well house, not the SCADA.
That's pretty.
Just like I said, just the well house, not the SCADA. And what we're doing here is just reviewing, looking at their SOQ. We'll have a special meeting either Thursday, or we could do it Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. The review in more in depth. But it just, yeah, and go over this, but I just thought if there was any questions you'd like to have from the end to the firm, if you had any questions on qualifications or anything like that, we can go into that. We'll review the qualifications and choose who we would like to do that. And then we right now, we don't know the price of any of this. And then if we choose an engineer, then we'll discuss price with them, and if they are within budget, then we'll move forward with that one. Kyle, you don't have an application here?
Did you get mine? Emailed it to you and Chris.
For the well house or SCADA?
Oh,
Both, I thought.
When did you email it?
like between 136 and 140. It was real close to 2.
Okay, I haven't checked my email since about noon, so I'll get it pulled up.
Okay,
I apologize. It's been a
I
day.
didn't think anybody had gotten it because I said
put a read request on it to, I didn't get anything back, so I wondered if you guys have checked your email.
It was a crazy, crazy day today.
Sounds like it was all out in there then.
Yeah. And we had our pre-construction meeting.
And I was hoping to chime in here too. Sorry to interrupt. This is Brendan Lamb with ITC Electrical Technologies.
Yes.
And just kind of came about, I think, just with an email I sent yesterday, and Joel replied today. ITC would be interested in the SCADA improvements as well. We haven't submitted a statement of qualification. We sure could do that, but just wanted to see if we're not too late, we sure would like to be considered for that project.
It's, I think it's probably not fair to somebody else. We had a deadline today to get it into, not saying we wouldn't love that, but I think that's,
Okay. Well, I mean, if we're too late.
we'll see how this shakes out.
Okay.
But I'm just, we had a deadline and did you share with us how you found out about the project?
I was not aware of the project, actually. Joel Highsmith was on my list, I think, from about a year ago or so. I believe he had been in contact with one of our former project managers, and so he was just kind of on my list. And I just happened to send out a couple of emails yesterday, just kind of checking in with different towns and municipalities. And I did receive an email back today, late this afternoon, and so that's how I was aware of this. So I literally just saw it at about 5:30, and we just finished up a similar project for the town of Pine Bluffs about 3 weeks ago. So it's excellent timing. But I do understand if we're too late to meet that deadline. I could sure send something right now, but I don't want to skirt any formal deadlines or anything.
I think we're past our deadline, but I appreciate you reaching out. We're just a day late.
Okay.
But appreciate your interest.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Okay, very, very good. So there again, any questions for Inberg Miller while
The town has multiple well houses. What order would they be done in? Do we use certain wells more often than others? Can you address that? Anybody?
Yeah, so I'm Brock. I think I've
yeah, introduce yourself.
Yep, so I'm Brock Roberts with Inberg Miller. I believe I've met most of you before, and with me here today is Steve Bruce. He's our technical guru on this, so I'm gonna let him handle that.
Again, I'm Steve Bruce. I'm a civil engineer with many years experience, over 30 as a professional engineer. I'm a little different than most because I'm also a licensed operator. I've done lots of hands-on maintenance, a lot of hands-on repairs and modifications to existing equipment, gas chlorination, well controls, et cetera, rehabbing water wells. But as far as your specific question on prioritizing, that is something that's set up in the logic that you use in your SCADA system to operate and manage your facilities. If you prefer one well over the other, that's part of the of your process and instrumentation where you would have the equipment choose that one to go to lead first and rotate, or however you choose to do it.
I think you misunderstood
Right.
my question.
Oh, okay.
My question is, which well house would you do first?
Oh,
Construction.
well,
Because some wells produce much more water, better quality. And, you know,
probably the one you'd need the most would be the answer to that. And, you know, you'd pay attention to the season. You know, obviously you need a lot more water in the summertime than your winter time. You know, so I'm a little bit of a disadvantage. I don't know your water system very well. That will change very quickly. And I work with the information you have with your operator and make sure that whatever plan of attack makes the most sense.
thank you.
Any other questions for us?
Anybody else have this is a general question, I guess. When you are constructing the well house, would that well be down for that period of time, or would there be a transition just for a day or two, or what would the downtime be?
Depending on how it's done, some temporary controls could be set up to operate that well while the building is getting redone. And as a matter of fact, that equipment could be moved between wells possibly, depending on how it's designed. So it's I don't believe it's a hard on or off question. You know,
Okay.
it's well, absolutely. One of the priorities during any project is you got to meet the town's need while the project's going on. So, you know, we're not going to just say, stop using water while we do this work. And some of it has to do with the speed on how each of these buildings is rehab. You know, the buildings could be prefabricated. The parts of the plumbing could be prefabricated. Sorry, I need a sip of water, but we could require the contractor to have all of his materials on site before he starts doing the work. You know, obviously, in these day and times, some of the equipment can be weeks, if not months out. So you absolutely have to have that stuff on the ground before they start doing any demolition or anything like that.
I'm assuming, well, you or somebody will have site management overseeing the construction.
Yes. This particular project, I don't think we need a huge field budget for it because typically all of this work is going to be above ground. So we're not going to have a guy out there on site constantly. And our office in Riverton is not very far away. We can have eyes on this as much as you want or as little as you want. You know, the whole goal is to make sure that the contractors meeting the plans specifications. And if it's not being buried, then obviously we can look at it the next day or later in the week or whenever.
Okay.
So very flexible.
Yep. Anybody, any other questions? Thank you for coming.
Very welcome.
And appreciate you put in your SOQ.
Yeah, thank you for your
bet.
time.
Which one do you want to go to next? Yeah.
I got HDRs now, but I got cores ready
Okay,
to go now.
let's go to Gores and Associates.
I'm Jim Gores, as I think everybody knows. Be happy to answer any questions that you folks have to the best of our ability. It's awful quiet, gentlemen.
So they're reading and looking real quick, just,
So with the new SCADA coming in or SCADA coming in and the new town hall, obviously it would make sense to how that interplay. I know because it interplays with the well houses as well. I know that we're talking about the well
Oh, yeah.
houses right now, but which one would we do first?
That's gonna be up to you folks and how the remodel of the new city hall comes along. I mean, that's something we're gonna have to work on as a team with whoever's doing that work. Because you've also got a control system that will be put in place for the pump house, the washer plant and other things that you all want to have work together. So we can work together and come to the best suggestion as to which comes first, but or am I getting to the heart of the question?
Well, I just see a lot of in the SOQ for the well houses, it just refers to the SCADA on every part of it. So that's why I was asking how would they be done at the same time simultaneously, ideally, or one before the other?
No, it's you mean in terms of the well houses and the SCADA,
Mhm.
that would best work together rather than trying to piece it, break it into pieces, work on it separately. Yeah.
That was my question.
Yeah. That's, those two are gonna be so integrated, it's almost impossible to truly separate it.
I guess it would have been a question I probably should ask Inberg Miller also. Yeah, experience on putting in similar systems, well houses, design.
Yes, yeah. Yes, we have other systems we've worked with. Probably the closest one would be Pavilion. We've also worked with Riverton on some of their system in other communities as well. We've done similar projects, everything from here to Rock River, I guess. And in this case, we have a sub-consultant that will be assisting us with the SCADA system. I don't want
When
you
we get to
think
that part, that'll be a
Yeah, okay.
separate.
But those well houses themselves, they all need work. And in reality, probably replacement. I think that's something that you and we ought to work together on in terms of what sequencing you want to see the project pull together and what the cost is ultimately going to be, depending on how you approach it.
Who do you have assigned that's gonna be over, working on this project, or what's your team?
You mean for the field work?
Yeah, for the field work.
Probably Jeff and myself. And we've also got a working relationship with a couple of area engineering firms that can cover us if we or they are out of pocket, so to speak.
Okay.
So yes, we we expect to have full-time or as much as needed field coverage. Because the best set of plans and specs in the world aren't worth the paper they're printed on if they aren't followed. They're followed well.
Anybody else have any questions for?
Bob, did you have anything for
No, I don't.
or Councilman
Okay.
Zent? Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yep.
I noticed nobody signed in, so I'll
Oh,
be the
okay,
first
sign,
one.
please. Would Ember Miller like to address the question that I asked Jim, that what you wouldn't ask of experience in doing similar projects? Apologize for not asking.
That's okay. That's all right. Again, I'm Steve Bruce, and yes, we've been very involved in many numerous small well houses and pumping facilities. Controls several in the Gillette area, a few others around the state, but a number of rural facilities that had to be very dependable and economical that we've done. So I think we list some inside of the.
Okay, well, thank you.
In there. Sure. Okay.
Okay, thanks a lot. Are we ready to hear from HDR?
Mayor, council, I'm Kyle with HDR Engineering, Kyle Leto. I think I've met quite a few of you, most of you. Stand for any questions.
This is an old picture of you.
Yes, it is an older one.
It's not that old. He's been living hard.
Yeah.
He's not wrong. We did get some updated photos, but it didn't make it into the marketing materials this time around, so
Sorry.
no worries, no worries. I'm a little grayer for sure.
I know it's been a while, but you did some work on the, have you done, HDR done work on the water system previously?
No, most of our work was on the sewer system in town, but I became pretty familiar with your water system when we were pursuing the level 1 master plan. So I know about the different wells, like well 2 and well 5 and 6, and well 4 is kind of the one closer to town that's a little bit of a backup. So you know, I know well 2 is kind of your good water, higher quality, high production well, and 4 and 5 are not quite as good. But they're all clear out on the other end, you know, clear out by the water tank hill there. So I think the best bet with that's just to work with staff and figure out, you know, staging and phasing, how to kind of work through some of that. Kind of taking into account that well 2 is your, you know, good prime producer, but also keeping in mind you got to kind of cycle through them so you're not drawing one of them down too much at one time. So I don't know, well 4 and 5, they got those bolts out there. They're kind of pain in the butt.
Snakes.
Snakes and spiders, and I think they flood every once in a while. Guys have any rattlesnake dens out there? They'll move over there when the school kind of got in the way.
Meaning how many snakes they have this year.
We haven't had any. They're still sleeping.
They're still sleeping. Somebody sent me a picture of a snake in somebody's flower bed. I don't know where it was, but apparently it was in Fremont County. I thought that was- Yeah. Right.
Waiting for the locusts.
Who's gonna be the personnel on this project? Do you see?
So I'll probably be the project manager and
Manager.
kind of client liaison. Yuri Shelby from our office is kind of our go-to water guy. But we've got a pretty decent team behind us to kind of work through different things. So, you know, as far as like on-site inspection, we've got a couple EITs, which are engineering training. They're the younger folks to kind of come out and like be boots on the ground and see how this stuff comes together and report back to us if things don't seem to be matching with plans and specs and that sort of thing. So I agree with Jim. I think that kind of the SCADA and the well houses are kind of important that you integrate them together. Kind of have to do them as you're getting one well house refurbished, you're putting in all the equipment and stuff so that at some point you can bounce that signal back to wherever you want it. I know right now I think most of the stuff goes down to the sewer plant.
What
so-
works?
Yeah. Yeah, so it'd be nice to have that be more of like something you can access just through the web as opposed to having to have to go to a single point.
Yeah,
And
that
you
was-
could have it be in multiple places or even on your phone as you go walk around. So
That was kind of my question, that, you know, do them separately, or as you're doing one, you're also,
I think you gotta kind of do them together and then eventually you'll have that control system kind of all built together, but it's gonna be staging that and making sure that as you're taking stuff off the old system and putting it on the new system, making sure how that all kind of comes together, that'll be kind of the trick, I think, and figuring out figuring out the puzzle pieces to make that work, I think will be the best way to go about doing that, or figuring that out will be a challenge potentially, so. Done several of these different pump stations, just kind of all over the state, but here in Fremont County, we've done quite a bit of different pump stations, pump houses, booster pump stations. They're all somewhat similar. Usually if you got a well that you're completing, you end up having some kind of a pump station or pump house or something, so. We've done stuff up in DuBois, stuff for the Shoshoni Utility Organization. We're working on stuff with Lander right now. Town of Wright's a really big client of ours. Or I guess it's the Wright Water and Sewer District technically, but done quite a few different wells and pump stations and stuff up there. So.
Shouldn't have any trouble finding adequate personnel to get this done in a timely manner.
Nope, and in fact, we're hiring another person here within probably the next month or so. So we're currently at 5 people in the office, so I think we'll be at 6. So.
Anybody else have any questions for Kyle?
And we got other offices around the state can support us too, so it's a nice part. We work share pretty good across different offices, so. Nice to have that kind of support, so.
Okay. Anything else you want to say before you depart?
No, I don't think so. I mean, are you gonna bring us back up for SCADA stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll back. This is
Bide
just,
my time, and since I'll have another chance, I'll come back up. So.
do any of the other firms have anything they want parting statement you'd like to say before?
Steve Bruce again. Regarding the SCADA work, it's extremely important. There's a really good interface between the civil engineer and the electrical engineer, the instrument people. I've been involved in enough projects where I've written the logic for the programmer. I've been involved in I was involved with updating the process and instrumentation diagrams for the City of Casper wastewater plant, which is a big facility, and several other projects where I helped the installers put in equipment. I believe there's one in Gillette that is almost 30 years old. It's the same controller, it's the same program, nothing has changed, and it's still there because it had really good lightning protection sitting on top of the hill. I could go on, but I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a
Right.
lot. Jim, you got something in closing you'd like to say about the well house project?
That'd be a long, long discussion, but, fundamentally, our view after having worked on the water master plan and all is that, those well houses are probably at their lifespan. Certainly 2 and 4, 5 and 6 need a whole lot of help. So, I mean, I don't want to go into details at this point in time, but be happy to do it.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Let's look at the SCADA system. Do we have, how many SOQs for SCADA? Do we have 3?
3. We have SOQ. I believe they're online. Octomega Systems.
Let's go ahead and start with them. That's the first one you have up.
Is that
Cash?
Yes, I'm
Mr.
here.
Cash. Very good. We're reviewing right now, or trying to review we have it up now. We're reviewing your SOQ. Would you go
Yep.
ahead and introduce yourself?
I can see that. Yes, my name is Dustin Cash. I'm a professional control systems engineer. I've got an active Wyoming registration and an Arizona registration. I've been a one-man company basically since 2013. I've got about 27 years experience in the controls world. Oil and gas, pharmaceutical, fly ash, lock and dam, airports, lots of different types of industry and systems. I upgraded Hudson's SCADA system from it's a factory talk view studio system running on Windows 7. I upgraded that to 30 or 64-bit Windows 7. I've done some Wonderware upgrades that were the same from Windows XP to Windows 10. I've made modifications to the City of Riverton's iFix system. I've developed orchestra system platform from scratch for oil companies. I don't know. Do you guys have any questions?
Have you done any installations of the SCADA from converting from an old one to a completely new system? Like what we would be doing?
Yes. As in replacing computer hardware, installing software, and yes, basically standing the system up on site.
No.
Yes.
Right now, we're looking at design.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, I have designed several of these. In addition to control panel builds as well.
So you stated you're a one-man firm, so you're going to be the you'll be the tech overseeing installation and do you be doing all the design work, everything in-house?
That's correct.
Where are you located at?
Riverton, Wyoming.
Try not to hold that against you. No. Hmm. Any questions? Very good. Thanks a lot. Appreciate your SOQ that you provided us.
No problem. Thank you for the opportunity.
Gores and Associates. Jim.
Again, this is Jim Gores, and be glad to answer whatever questions I can. We have a control sub consultant who'll be working with us, handling at least much of the input output type of controls and configuring of the system. We've worked with Pavilion, Du Bois on occasion too. Riverton in some cases for some control work, and the sub-consultant we're working with, I believe currently takes care of or monitors the Riverton system and keeps their technical people appraised of what needs to be changed, if anything. And so we'll be working one-on-one with those people. They did the system over at Pavilion, which isn't a whole lot bigger than what you folks have. So if there's any specific questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Who's the third party you're bringing in for the SCADA?
It's called
Design.
Control Electrical Equipment Company. It's out of Denver. And I've worked with them off and on basically my entire career in Wyoming. So, and yeah, they're quite good. They work in the their principal areas, the municipal water and wastewater industry. They also do a lot of work in the oil and gas industry, but I can get further details if you wish, but we're not going to tell you that we, as ourselves, are SCADA experts. We know who people, what people are, and have worked with them frequently and over the years. So we feel comfortable we can accomplish this as well as we have others. So. Bob or Mike got questions? No? You don't know any more about it than I do?
So you would use this firm to you'd consult with them and
Yes.
about the needs of Shoshoni.
Well, yes. I think, we'd have them working with Mike and yourselves to make sure that what gets put in there is, meeting what you need to see. And we can get into the details of to what degree do you want to monitor water well level in the wells, keep track of pumping rates and pumping records, so that you're not overstressing any one well over another. And there's a wide gamut of things that are very briefly mentioned in our qualification statement that need to be thought of, discussed, figured out, and then implemented to give you a system. Basically, the job of a SCADA system on the water system is to keep the tank full all the time. I mean, that boils it down to the bottom line. If you got a fire going on, and there's a heavy draw on the system, you know, which wells you turn on and under what conditions. You also need to be darn sure that you're not kicking an additional well on when you've got others that are already got the system at capacity and you're putting a pressure surge on. I mean, there's a wide variety of things that we haven't even touched on that need to be looked at, figured out, and thoughtfully put together.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Sure.
Kyle?
Hi again. So we have some controls folks that work for HDR, Patrick Bunkers and Andrew Ring. They build these. It's kind of just their thing. They're controls guys. And so our goal would be to kind of have them as part of the team and just design these as we go. Get everything kind of coordinated together and, you know, work with the town to figure out what this best fits your needs and what gets you the system that you want. And then ultimately, after the project's all said and done, these guys can come back and maintenance items and, you know, if there's software upgrades and just different things like that, that, you know, say that you want to try to do something different on the system, you can tap these guys to have them come back and do some of that. I know that's been an issue in the past where you've had controls companies that, you know,
Yeah,
have been tough to get a hold of. You
Yes.
know, and you got something going on with the computers and they're not working and can't get a hold of the guy and doesn't return calls and, you know, we're over in Lander and I can make several phone calls to get some people over. So.
And on the sidewalk project you guys did, which I thought your plan was DUM dumb, but it turned out pretty good. Leave it to the engineers, right? You
Well,
were,
I feel bad because now you moved out of your house.
but you helped me with the resale value.
Well,
right?
there we go.
It was really nice. So leave it to the engineers, but I know that I had some concerns during the project and you were very available to Mr. Joe Citizen who had questions. So I got to vouch for you on that one.
I appreciate
You
that.
did a good job on that.
any other, where you mentioned team, where
Oh,
the
those guys-
physical location, where are they out of?
They're
Yeah,
out of
SCADA.
our South Dakota offices. I think they're both in, well, I know Patrick is in Sioux Falls. I'm not sure if Andrew's exactly which office he's in. I think it might be Rapid City. maybe. But so our area kind of is the Dakotas in Wyoming within HDR, so we're all kind of like the same kind of team. you know,
Okay.
so the way it works is, you know, we've got kind of our Wyoming offices and then it expands out to North Dakota and South Dakota. And then HDR national is kind of a whole. So, you know, we can pull in some national expertise on different things if we have to. These guys are more like regional.
Right,
experts for us,
okay.
So, because.
Where are your
it's-
regional team?
Because it's pretty specific work, it's nice to have them kind of cover a wide area, you know, so. I think that's kind of how we've been building that
Mhm.
capability out within our area, so. Eventually, it'd be nice to get some gold guys here in Wyoming, but
Yeah.
gotta get lots more clients first.
Anybody else? Any questions for Kyle at HDR? Well, thank you.
I do
Appreciate
appreciate the opportunity. It's always nice when work's coming out, so thank you.
You bet. When would be a good time for us to get together and have a special meeting?
Sunday.
You know, the thoughts here, so everybody's playing, we've been awarded, SLIB awarded us this project. We haven't got the paper signed, so we don't spend it, we can't spend money and go forward until we get that. We anticipate that being sometime in the next 2 weeks. Just wanted to get this part of it out of our way. So when we get the notification to proceed, we can jump at it. So that's the sort of our process, so we can get as early as start. I don't know if it's possible to get this done yet this year before winter. If it ain't, you guys will straighten me out, but that's, that's what we're, I don't know what the schedule, but I want to give every opportunity to try to get this done this year if we can. And that's what we're going through, but we could get the notice proceed tomorrow, for 2 weeks,
When you say this winter, I don't know if you're talking about the.
Oh, the winter we're in
We're
now.
gonna go into next.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. I mean, the winter, our next winter, whenever that may start. Hopefully it isn't until November. Excuse- Jim, you like to say, something? Could you stand up, please?
Mayor and council, we'd be glad to be at that special meeting whenever it is, be able to answer questions. Because I think, we've got some of the longest tenure continuity on the project. And we've got questions we'd be glad to answer. So that would be helpful. I'd be glad to do it.
And if the council, while we're reviewing this, while we're next day or two or whatever, we'll try to get written questions for each of you. And get them if we have questions. I'll try to email them to you in advance.
Could or just give us a call on the phone. Would be fine.
Yep, whatever.
But
We'll try to.
once again, thank you for everything. If there's any questions, we'd be glad to answer them.
So Jake, what's your schedule? Because I'm open any.
Mine's not good on Saturday or Sunday, I can say that.
Okay.
I got 47 hours at the shop and I got 2 days to work on the house. 2 full days.
So.
Sometime after 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I can't be
As I'm
here.
saying. 6
Oh.
So
Oh, yeah,
what
it's
days
gotta
are
be
best
like
for you in the
7.
evenings?
7.
And I usually don't even hit Shoshoni till 6:15
Right.
typically.
Okay. And you, Mike?
Mondays, Tuesdays, or Wednesdays. Are better days than Thursday, or Friday. So Fridays are Fridays.
Thursdays and Fridays are bad.
It's just,
It
this
had
is
to
my
be on
fourth
Thursday.
job.
The Thursday at 7 is much better off than Friday 1.
Okay.
What about next Monday, the 3rd?
Okay, it's but I don't think a few extra days will hurt anybody. I was trying to get it done by Friday, but I think we probably better shoot for next Monday.
Yeah.
I'd have to, I need to check my
A
calendar,
little
make sure
later in
I'm
the
here.
evening work better for you. Maybe if we did like 8 o'clock on Friday or something. I don't know.
So Fridays.
No, Friday's a no.
Oh, no,
So
or
I'll
the-
run late on it, usually in the Rock Springs.
like 8 o'clock
me
on
check my
Thursday.
calendar.
I don't know if that would work.
I get back. I'm happy to do the 10:30, 11 o'clock. That's fine.
Oh, man.
I don't mind. That's going to
Tuesday or Tuesday the 4th, I have no problem with that.
Oh, no, I have no problem with next week either. I was just saying, as far as this week, I could go later if that be doable.
be tomorrow.
You have to have your 24-hour,
8 hours.
8 hours.
We could do it tomorrow theoretically. I mean,
I thought it was 24 for some reason.
no, especially.
Tomorrow at 9. How long does the meeting need to be? Long meeting?
Well, I mean, I think
This
it
is a
needs,
long meeting.
I mean, at least need a day or two to really go
Yeah,
over these and stuff. I mean, because, I mean, I briefed over them, but I didn't, trying to,
See, I
If
never
you're gonna
got filed until today.
so, I mean, theoretically, we could do tomorrow.
So the actual meeting is another 2 hour.
Could be an hour if we have everything figured out and ahead of time for questions and whatnot.
Next Monday will work on my schedule.
That's for Monday
7 o'clock,
7:30.
7:30.
It don't matter.
It doesn't matter, to me, 7 o'clock, 7:30.
I'd go for. 5
Make it-
7. I can negotiate.
Okay,
How long of a meeting is that gonna be? We could move it to 7:30 or,
Maybe an hour to an hour and a half. 15 minutes, do what we need to do. An hour and 15.
We'll kind of be more informed if we got any more questions on this
Right.
and kick around. And we will select, go ahead and vote. We'll select a,
Brock, do you have an online one you can send me, a digital?
and we'll select the engineer and then we'll go into, the next day or two or whatever, we'll negotiate, go into negotiation and scheduling and pricing, and if for some reason there's something come up, so they're out, that we're out of budget or something like that, then we'll address that issue. But that'll start the ball.
yeah.
rolling, and hopefully by the time that gets done, maybe we'll have,
Have everything lined up by the time they sign the.
right, we'll get the go ahead to do this. Just. So Monday
That's fine by
at
me.
7:30. And of course, everybody's welcome.
what time do you want, Mike?
Well, if we do 7:30, then I would go to the first 3 minutes of fire. And then we can think of that.
You get all your work done at the first half hour. 7:30.
Okay. So we'll set our meeting, special meeting at 7:30 Monday.
And I'll resend a digital copy of all the SOQs all in one email, so I have plenty of time to review it.
So for us-
And if you
for
got-
us to learn, what do we?
And if you have any questions in reviewing them, get the questions to me and I'll forward them to the consultants. But if you come up with any questions that come up. I believe we're set on that. That's our next clerk report. Oh, vehicle. Oh, sale of vehicle. We got.
That's why Bo's still here. Oh, he's in trouble.
Uh-oh.
She didn't know.
No.
She knows now.
Get Crown Vic. Happy anniversary.
Surprise.
Hey, Bo. Did you have to hawk the house for this bid? Their
So what are we
decimal
getting
point
for-
or this is vehicle number 1. Vehicle number 1, is that the pick 'em up truck?
Okay.
This is vehicle number one, $3,001
Which one was that, Bo?
That's the truck.
truck, vehicle number one. Bo Weaver. Vehicle number two.
Sticky notes inside an envelope?
Sticky notes, yeah. Vehicle number two, Bo Weaver. $2,001.
Like the price is right.
That's what I was gonna say. Thank you, Kyle.
I should be flattered. I would have done about a 4.
Well, we got vehicle number one, Janine Weaver. No, I'm joking.
Funny, the handwriting looks the same.
Yeah, yeah. Bart Broman bid number, this is vehicle two, vehicle one, $1,000. That was vehicle, no, that's vehicle two. Oh, that's vehicle one, Ram truck.
Yeah.
Dodge pickup. Yeah. His last name, Bill.
Bill. We got a phone number.
Is it Supas? Bill, SUPP,
Supar
or Supas, I know Bill Supas, I don't know,
or Supas,
I don't know, it's Bill.
but Bill.
And we have a number, 856-8666.
I hope that was a bid.
Yeah. We got a decimal point or three in there. The bid is $4,575.25. So the high bidders are on vehicle one is Bill. Looks like it could be super, huh? Bill, yeah, the high bidder, well, yeah, was $4,575.25. And Bo Weaver's bid was $3,001. And Bart Broman bid $1,000. And we only had one bid for the car, that's correct? Yep. $2,001 for Bo Weaver. Can I have a motion to accept the high bids on both vehicles?
So moved.
It's been moved by Councilman Stetler that we accept the both bids on the high bids on both vehicles. Can I get a second?
Second.
And second by Councilman Zant. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, none. Motion passed on the affirmative. Congratulations, both.
It's been nice knowing you.
It's department head, clerk's report. Clerk,
Okay, this is just a
here.
quick overview of some items that are upcoming that I just want to put out there for you. I'll be preparing a quarterly budget report to present at the first April council meeting. and anticipate having one additional revenue expenditure modification for this budget year. And I'll be working with the department heads and the mayor on the preparation of the preliminary budget to present at the end of April for first reading consideration on May 23rd. And I'd suggest scheduling a work session prior to April 25th and May 9th meetings, leaving time for any additional workshops if needed. And then we've had a staff shortage for the last couple of weeks. And I just wanted to say thank you for the administrative staff for their hard work and filling in and picking up additional duties while the staff members been out. And it's truly been a team effort. We're looking forward to their return in the very near future.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Did you want to mention the WHAM meeting and see if
Whamcat or the Wham and Cody?
Wham and Cody and see if any of our, you mentioned any of our council members? are
I-
interested in attending?
I haven't heard. You called me? Oh. Okay. Okay, because I tried to call the mayor in Cody today. He was out. I couldn't leave a voicemail because his mailbox was full. So I was trying to find out what he was suggesting for hotels.
Comfort Inn next to a call.
Comfort Inn, okay.
There's a Best Western.
Yeah, there was some decent priced ones and then there was some exclusive.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, we're on
Okay.
$150. It's a decent 140.
yeah, I was telling Melissa,
Yeah.
really?
June 7th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
7th through the 9th. Yep. So you and Bob is the only ones I know of. I haven't heard from Tammy.
We haven't got the programs yet.
Right.
To know exactly.
What the agenda
Right.
is.
We'll try to get you room.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Any questions for the clerk? None being, Jake, do you have anything you'd like to talk about?
Not particular. I thought we had talked about at our last meeting, I was running through my head, surveying. Is that something we're gonna discuss on Monday then? Or is that-
The surveying,
or was that,
I don't know if we're ready for that yet.
okay,
If looks like we are, we can add that. It has to be on the agenda when we.
that's why I was
advertise it.
mentioning.
Well, we have
it should
time,
be on.
we have time to do that.
I didn't know if it was need to be or,
I don't know if we're at where we need to be discussing that quite yet.
okay,
Sort of been discussing it with engineering. So I don't know if we're at that. I'm not at that point to
Okay.
present that. at this
Understood.
Point.
I wasn't.
We may
clear on that.
maybe by the end of this week.
No,
Where Jake's referring to that we are gonna need some surveying to move forward on our into the business park, except for the additional funding we have on our west side addition. We're gonna enable us to put some additional sewer line in that we weren't planning on. Yeah, we need to
I just wasn't real clear.
make
on
sure we
that,
get
I
the
guess.
line, get them in the right place. There's gonna need to be some survey and make sure we do it right. That kind of
Mayor and I have been talking about. That's kind of where that modification came in, once we get some numbers in the future of this budget year before we
Right,
kick
right.
it into the budget.
Oh, right, okay. I'm catching up now. So we may need to, if we end
But
up,
no, we just haven't got that far yet.
if we end up needing some surveying services before budget, we're gonna have to modify it. Gotcha.
That's what, yes.
That was my only question on that. Other than that, I don't know of any issues and everything's going fairly smoothly, I think.
Marshall, would you have any wisdom you'd like to give us
On,
anything?
no,
It's coming or sometimes your insight is appreciative. That's good. Means I haven't messed anything up real bad this week.
no, it's pretty smooth so far.
It's
So
Monday.
far, yeah. Yeah, I know. You never know.
But the one thing that has come up, I guess, was the, well, Tara Bergen, as you mentioned before.
Right.
So I don't know if the council's heard about that, or Miss Tara Berg has decided, well, I shouldn't say decided, she's following regulations as far as medical facility goes, and is requiring a certain form to be filled out, which the Hot Springs County Health should be the ones filling it out. But she sent it to the town, so.
We did get a refund check, right, Chris?
Not yet.
Oh, we got notified we were gonna get one?
Yes. We haven't received the funds yet.
Yeah.
Oops.
I was right there too. Now I got two.
From need 'em.
So on that, the Department of Health defines a hospital under certain, what they cover as a hospital. One being performs diagnostic care, also rehabilitative care and other procedures. So I believe that that qualifies both categories for a hospital, according to the Department of Health. And then when you circle back to the Department of Revenue, hospitals are excluded from taxation. So I think as long as I get something from Hot Springs Health, obviously, that they provide, I mean, I think it goes without saying. So I'm not really sure what she's gonna want to back up that a hospital provides diagnostic care. I don't,
It should be coming from Hot Springs Health. I just figured the council.
Right.
should know that that's.
Yeah, you're right. But that was a pretty good win for us. You know, that in the county, when they reviewed it, it was 3-2 vote against us. And no good excuse why that happened. She had more influence on them than following or what we. And Marshall presented to have a really good case. But anyway, in the end, so far, one for Shoshoni.
so what happens next year.
And we'll see what happens next year, because she doesn't seem very friendly. Get Christmas cards. Neither's Marshall. But anyway, but that was good news. Anything else, Marshall? Mike?
Asked to follow up, there was a complaint made some time ago about garbage being stored in shed.
Yep, letter's been sent, so it's gonna come down to our Public Works Department is going to eventually, if it's not cleaned up, remove it, dispose of it, and then be sending them the bill according to our town ordinances. So that's the answer.
But the background was there was waste that had been stored in a outhouse, outshed building for some time back, garbage, a concern about animals.
Yes.
Smell, et cetera.
And they live in Lander. The
But
owners.
currently the dwelling is not being occupied, it's not been occupied, so the neighbors had some reason for concern.
Legitimate concern.
Absolutely.
That's why we have those ordinances.
And letters have been sent also, since we're on that subject, on the trailer and the vehicles. So once things thaw out in town where we can actually not sink in the mud, if those aren't moved, been talking with our attorney, so we'll take action if we have to on those as well.
Bob?
Talked to Mike earlier tonight about looking at our streets of California and Maple
Okay.
for looking at maybe putting something into a budget for asphalt repair.
Definitely.
He said, yeah, he said Maple, both of us agree that Maple's worse than California. So we need to look at that when we do our budget.
Yep.
They're starting to break up.
Yep. Mike and we discussed it here earlier this week or last week and had a conversation about it. Yeah.
And then another thing, I went to Casper a couple of weeks ago for the Wyoming Community Gas meeting. There's major changes in your option to choose who you supply your gas company. Gas company,
Supply.
not supplier, there's supplier, not the transmission lines. There's no more early sign up for you. Last year, this time you're getting mail and emails, whatever, from multiple companies saying buy our gas. That's not happening. You have April 6th through April 20th to sign up. That's the first big change. Commercial customers, you cannot tie a residential building with a commercial customer anymore. That's another change. Next one is the, this is basically the difference between fixed rate and monthly rates. Price per therm. They charge you a fixed rate of each therm. So if you use 50 cents, you use 200 therms, it's $100. If it's a fixed rate, you pay the same amount every month, even in September when it's 103 outside, or February, it doesn't matter. Some people like that, it's a fixed budget, they know what it exactly is. The last option they have is a cost adjustment. It used to be called pass-on rate. Now, pass-on rate is basically you buy at the current market rate. Now, the problem with pass-on rate for some people is the third budget down. My third bullet down. In February of 2000, it was declared as a severe winter experience. And the PSC in August or September of 21 said, oh, we will let the gas companies get their money back they lost because the amount of gas was used so much. So those people who had a pass-on rate back in 2000 will pay this extra 12 cents per therm till 2024. That's not really printed out in Black Hills information they send on pass-on rate. Now, each company has different terms. They call gas cost adjustment rate or fixed rates. Each company has their different terms. So we need to be aware of that. And the rate comes out of the what hub?
Henry Hub.
Henry Hub, that's it. That's adjusted quarterly for your rates. The last one is the important one. People keep on complaining about. Want to rotate that?
Yes, I'm working on it.
Thank you. Here, let me do it for you. This is last 22 years of rates of natural gas. From about 2010 to 2020. That's when back east, Pennsylvania, Ohio started to put gas in lines. Prices fell dramatically. prior to 2010, you can see the prices. This is for 1,000,000 BTUs. And now they're going back up since 21. So when people say, why is gas going up? One is that the changes in coal-fired gas plants, the amount of natural gas used instead of coal, the demand is there, therefore it's going up. Depends on the winter, extreme summers, air conditioning, natural gas is used. So that's one big reason. The other thing is everything from Ukraine to whatever you want to name affects the global markets. So that's when people ask why gas is going up. It's better than it was 15 years ago. Questions?
The pass-through rate, that's supposed to be off a current market price, correct?
Based quarterly on quarterly market price. Yes,
Quarterly.
from Henry Hub. Yes.
Okay, from Henry Hub. So if the quarterly rate was low and that passed on to you, I don't see where they lost money myself.
You're not the only one.
Okay, that's what I'm just saying.
So they convinced the Public Service Commission to add this charge. It will be on there for 3 years. And so community gas gives money back to the community. The town received a check for
$4,001, I believe.
$4,001.07.
Okay, yeah, that's
And
nice.
7 cents. And that goes into the town's discretionary fund. And we have to choose where we've used in the past for trees in the town plaza to, I'm not sure where else, but
Fence, last,
last time.
the previous year was the fence. that went around the
Fence.
park. Yeah.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
that's it.
Fence line.
Yep.
Centennial Park. Okay, so we need to send them what we use that money for.
Right.
Thank you, note. That's all I have.
Thank you. Touch bases on a few things. We had Bob and I both attended a WHAM meeting. It was, as always, Fremont County showed up. We didn't get anybody from take the snowy roads or afraid of snowy roads back from Casper. Our region is Natrona County and Fremont County. But I think we talked about some good things about working together. They discussed legislation that's going on. I thought we had a pretty good meeting that we had up there. Also had Wind River Visitors Council meeting up in Du Bois. So I attended part of that meeting and part of the WHAM meeting. Or FCAG, part of FCAG. And that I know we're gonna, whenever Visitors Council will be bringing a budget to us here relatively soon, as they did in the past. There again, that military tank museum is just amazing. That's where we had our FCAG meeting at that. We didn't take a tour again, but he keeps adding on to it. And they got a real good eatery there now. We did eat there, so it's good. The Du Bois is very appreciative, or the town people we help them out, and then Chris giving them guidance on developing a police department up there. I did see our Shoshoni PD, they got it now rebadged. It has Du Bois on it, but it looks like that. Then they're been very busy showing down speeders that zooming through Du Bois at 50 miles an hour. Their officer got to write his day 4 or 5 and got to write his first $500 ticket. They got to write his first $500 ticket, but they're staying he's staying relatively busy and they're on the ways. Chris is helping them write a grant to get a second officer up there. So.
So you got
But-
some competition. Well, competition, breeds performance.
But anyway, that's as you know, we're using Du Bois sewer guy, to help us out to meet. So we got a second on our certified person, there again, the communities in Fremont County are working together, and I think we may do that better than any other county in the state. I don't know if anybody else got an organization like we have with FCAC. So that was encouraging. Today we had at our new town hall, soon to be new town hall, we had our pre-construction meeting and went over everything on that, and they're starting to tear things out of there. I got they planned the end of September for us, I think. I have the 20th of September. We hope to be in there near that date. If there's part of it's, if we have supplies they can't get, could affect that, but that's what that mobilization, that was yesterday in our meeting today and starting the demo. But so they're very optimistic that we'll be in well ahead of our November 1st timetable. So that's pretty encouraging. That's a lot of hard work finally coming to fruition. We should meet. We're meeting with Brock today, where we should be meeting with the contractor relatively soon to set up a schedule. We know we're going to have supply issues on some of the material needed, so we don't have a start date yet. We know that lift pump for one thing is out there quite a ways, but other things are too. But we're working towards that. In Miller, we're working towards moving forward on that. It's kind of, I don't know anything else I really need to they're also, the state legislature passed a bill to create a state shooting range. There's some indication Central Wyoming would be a good place for such of course, Casper, I think, believes they're Central Wyoming, but they're not really. I don't think, but I think Fremont County, of course, I'm leaning towards Shoshoni, but Riverton may think they're, but anyway, I'm working on FCAG to get their support. I know our rifle committee is going to be looking into that. One of our members on the rifle committee is certified range developer. We have a second one taking the test now on our committee. I am also certified by the NRA for that. But we're going to reach out to others. I don't have a lot of time to commit to that, but try to help them. But I think that's something that may be reaching too far, but if we don't try to chase it, that's, they thought the clinic was reaching too far to state, but we want to improve our range, whether we do this or not. And I don't know, it may come with a bunch of strings attached. We don't want it. But I think it's worth looking into. So we are, actively pursuing that. I'm trying to talk to State Wyoming State Shooting Association into jump aboard with us. Their headquarters is Worland. But of course, they'd like to have it probably too, but they're getting too far north. They're not, I mean, Central is, and the governor did actually say that we should hold more events in Shoshoni. But I don't know. Lack of space and motels and stuff may hinder us, but we got a great location, and Thermopolis and Riverton have a lot of both, and you know, within driving distance. I don't know, but that's something that sort of I wanted to bring up that's on our radar that we're looking at. But I don't have anything else. So I bloviated long enough. Anybody, anything else? Can I have a motion? If there's none, can I have a motion to adjourn? Oh, I was gonna say, I can talk longer. That's it. So I don't know who was first, had two of them real fast.
I'll second.
Okay, moved by Councilman Statler, second by Councilman Demick, that we adjourn. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Pose the same. Motion passed on the permit. Let the record note that Tammy Harkey was not available today.
Yeah, all you gotta do on that tax is sell $500
908.
I'm just putting it on there just so.
Yep, 908.